Welcome to Sister Scoop for this week and getting right into the Marvel news with topic number 1. We are talking about the possibility of Raimi continuing to tell the Doctor Strange story in Doctor Strange 3.
Yeah, so it sounds like Sam Raimi is actually pretty far along in talks with the studio for coming back, which would be his direct sequel to Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. If you all happen to listen to our reactions to that particular movie, you know that this comes with a little bit of mixed feelings on our side. I mean, I love Toby and his trilogy as Spider-Man. So Raimi is always going to have a special place in my heart. That was probably one of the first live action superheroes that I was ever truly into. So I'm never going to be like, Raimi, I can't believe you're bringing him back. However, I will say I was really, really disappointed in MOM and the way that it was done. And I just thought it had so much potential and then fell so flat. And so for that reason, I am a little nervous. And I actually would have liked to see Derrickson come back, to be honest, from the original Doctor Strange, because I think he, in my opinion, had a better grasp on the character. But here we are. Love Sam Raimi. So I guess maybe let's give him another shot? Question mark.
Yeah, I'm a little torn because I know it wasn't just him that was the downfall of MOM. I know we can always point fingers and it's always easiest to point them at the director. But I mean, you had writers who didn't bother to watch WandaVision. So that in itself, I mean, Elizabeth Olsen sitting there and is like, yeah, hopefully we get people who watched everything. She's calling them out. She knows her character was taken in a way she didn't love. So I'm not going to sit here and completely give crap to him. And I think as a director, as the direction they went, I think the movie as a whole by itself is fine. So maybe coming back now, continuing the story he's already told, maybe that's the direction to go. I think it was an interesting concept. I like that it kind of tried to deal with horror, although it really didn't. Obviously, I think Agatha all along has done a lot more in that genre than this already, or that MOM did, but maybe. I'm not
Jury's
I'm not
still
gonna
out.
sit here. Yeah, I'm like, ugh. I'm not gonna sit here and say yes for sure. I'm on board with this, but I do think that it's important also to keep directors and continuity, especially for the same characters. And we've
Fair
seen the
enough.
ones that worked. We've seen an example that already that hasn't, but I like the attempt, and I think it being there is an attempt instead of bringing somebody completely new in and a whole other direction for a character who, I mean, Doctor Strange has had about 17 iterations in the MCU.
Yeah.
Give this man one shot to be one type of character for once.
Yeah, agreed. There has been a lot of black widowing of his character where he's very much at the whim of the director. So, to your point, maybe having two movies with the same director will help him out and we can get a little bit more clarity on exactly who we want Doctor Strange to be. And, I know we don't have it on the slate before Doomsday or Secret Wars, but I would like to see, I know we've talked about this 1,000 times, but I would like to see this before then because I don't really understand how the Doctor Strange that we left at MOM is going to end up doing what he does in Secret Wars in the comics. So I think there's a big hole to fill. And if Raimi's able to really seamlessly tell that story, so be it. Let's go.
Yeah, and I mean, he set up the third movie, so
Yeah.
maybe he knows the direction already that he wants to take it. So I'm going to carefully say, let's see what happens for that
Cautiously
one.
optimistic.
Yeah, there you go. Moving on to our next topic. This one I'm really, really excited about. Moon Knight. There's news on season 2. It seems like they have a direction. They're somewhat going to take it. We don't actually know it. Just sounds great to them is pretty much what I've been seeing online, is that everybody's like, cool, we're really excited for what's coming.
Yeah, I mean, look, we have talked a lot about kind of where does this character fit in. It's been over 2 years since the show.
Yeah.
And I mean, the show so clearly sets up a season 2 or at least future appearances by the introduction of that third altar. So I mean, it is nice to know that they're not just going to let Oscar Isaac hang out on an island by himself and never get a second season. And we have talked, I believe, in past Sister Scoop episodes about the potential of doing Midnight Suns. And that character needs to be in a place where he's ready to join that team. And I think a season 2 is going to give us, or him really, that ability to develop, make some more connections, because other than a few name drops, he really is kind of separated from the rest of the characters. I'd like to see him make some more interactions, even if we're introducing new characters who would be a part of the Midnight Suns within his season 2. Anything to kind of get him set up and ready for that, because that is honestly a property that, while not confirmed, I am so incredibly excited for. Like, I wait every day for them to announce that. So I hope that season 2 continues to build on season 1, but then also keeps in mind like where we're expecting the character to go as he evolves and as the years go on.
I think too, just to kind of simplify, because everything you said was a great point. We talked on a Sister Scoop episode maybe only a few months ago that there was no news on this, that it didn't even seem like they were considering a season 2 anymore. So while it's a little like nugget of yes, it's happening, I don't care, we'll take it. And to your point, we needed to set up other things. We needed to set up this character in general to be part of something. He was very, very on his own in his first season, and we praised, his entire show for that. We said we loved that, and I still to this day do. I enjoyed watching him be in his own show. We didn't have to worry about the bigger ramifications, but I think you set this character up to grow more on his own. Well, not on his own. On
In the
several
same
of
body.
his own. Yeah. However you want to say that. But, you set this character up to do so much more in his own story. And then what we think could be coming down the pike, let's get there. Otherwise, we set up a really, really cool character who I enjoyed so much. And where is he? For 2.5 years? That's crazy to me. So, yeah, I agree with your sentiment there. I would love to see it. I'm glad we have some sort of news about this, because I was getting a little upset, not gonna lie. But moving on to our last topic, our buddy Sebastian Stan is along the roads, all doing all the press, everything. Everything's happening right now. And he wants his Bucky Barnes to face RDJ's Doctor Doom. Now, there's a lot to that. First, everybody who said he was going to die in Thunderbolts, he just confirmed he's not. Second, I mean, he wants a rematch. Am I right? Like, that's what I read.
I mean, yeah, it's so interesting. When I was reading the actual like GQ article where he, mentions this, I was like, dude, like you've already, like, I get that RDJ is going to be playing a different character, but you've already gone toe to toe with him, like in one of the most epic movies in honestly all of the MCU. Like, that movie is crazy. That's the movie that got me into the MCU. I hold it in very, very high regard. But like, it really is at the end of the day about the two of them. Like, Cap's important, obviously, it's his movie and he's there, but like at the core, it's really what the Winter Soldier did against Tony, and there's so much emotion between the two of them, and also physical acting. So I thought it was actually really fascinating. He was like, yeah, I want to go against RDJ, and I'm like, okay, like you did that already. Don't know how that would work out. I mean, obviously, with an Avengers movie of the scale of Secret Wars, they're not going to leave a character like Bucky, who, I know you've said this 1,000 times, but he's one of the oldest characters in the MCU right now in terms of longevity. So you're not going to leave him out. He's at part of a new team now. They're probably going to be involved. It just, in my head, it's a little hard for me to reconcile something as ground level as the Thunderbolts and the folks that are involved there, and Doctor Doom and Secret Wars and everything that represents. There's a little bit of dissonance, but I'm sure they're gonna make it work. There was a lot of thoughts obviously going through my head when I was reading that article.
My whole thing was, because I definitely shared that thought where it was like, Seb, I love you, but I'm not really sure where you're fitting into the whole Secret Wars Doctor Doom especially route. But then I thought about, well, he was there during the whole Battle of Thanos, and that was just, purple grape alien came to Earth looking for some rocks. Like, that was the vibe there. So I was like, you know what? Actually, he was there for both battles against Thanos.
True.
And so, I don't know. I guess it doesn't really matter in these types of movies if you really think about it. We're going to have all sorts of ground level heroes and villains and anti-heroes and everything else. So I guess it doesn't matter. I don't know how he's going to get his one-on-one with Doctor Doom if that's what he's looking for. But you know what? I'd love to see it. I really would.
Yeah, look, I'm here for it. We love Seb, we love Bucky, and we have mixed feelings about RDJ coming back as Doom, but everybody's embracing it, and here we are.
Exactly. Couldn't say it better myself. Well, that has been this week's Sister Scoop. Join us again next week for another round of Marvel news. And of course, go listen to our podcast episodes, as right now we are covering Agatha all along. See you guys next week.